Like right off the bat, no one I've seen on YouTube has just like looked at the silhouette itself, right? Like they just like screen it. And they're like, "Oh, dude, it's an oracle, it's a warlock, or whatever." It probably is a warlock or a witch, but there's a little bit more to it. I'm gonna get into that really quick. So right off the bat, we see the right arm has an open hand, and you see like very faint blue, like almost like arcane subtle dots in the silhouette here, and you don't see any visible weapons. The head of the silhouette, he's kind of, his head's kind of like turned down at the very start of the clip. His head is turned down, looking downward, and as he's coming up, you can see this glowing dot in his forehead. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. Nobody's hit on this. It's wild, man. It's crazy, dude. So I've got a wild speculation on what I think this class is, but I'll get to that in a second. So the obvious information, it is a cloak, or like, you know, it's a robe slash cloak, and there's like these jaggedy, bony structures or whatever, the shoulders, part of the clothing or armor that the class is wearing. Anyway, let's actually look at the silhouette. So he turns his head. He or she turns his head kind of back down like this, kind of left downward, and you can see the glow is kind of disappearing here. And now you're going to notice the class, he or she, whatever gender the class is here, is going to start raising their head and look toward the camera, and the glow becomes more apparent. It's obviously a hooded character. And now you can see that he or she has turned their head straight on toward the camera, and you can see the glow is still apparent in the skull forehead area. That is factual information. That is a consistent, like, permanent glow thing in their skull forehead. And we're gonna get to that in a second. Anyone that knows anything at all about Diablo already knows where I'm going with this. Now, let's get in the obvious stuff. You can see that there is light coming through the bottom of the cloak as it's tattered here. There's absolutely no light at all coming through anywhere else on this silhouette. And then you can see the subtle, like, blue slash purple, like kind of almost arcane glow. It's a willpower-based class. We know that the main stat is going to be willpower. That's high speculation. And sparing a bunch of details. We just know that's probably what very likely is the case. We know that it's probably going to be kind of like a caster-esque kind of ranged class, right? Just looking at this silhouette without any context, you think this is like some kind of reaper or maybe a witch or warlock, and those would all be like, you know, off the cuff initial good first guesses at just looking at this silhouette. But I'm gonna show you guys something really quick. Let's see, what are we looking for? This is from Game Informer, and it says, okay, Blizzard says the second unannounced class looms on the dark horizon. Noting the class's power is undeniable and poised to reshape the battlefield. Looms on the dark horizon. Looms on the dark horizon, and they've got a glow in their forehead skull. Based off the silhouette, high speculation that is a demon's soul stone, right? Like, it is very high speculation that this class is some kind of warlock or whatever, whatever they want to call it. Like, they may not call it a warlock. They may call it something completely different, like a hellcaller or something. It's very much associated with demons. It's going to be like a demonic like class. And even without that glow in the forehead area, I would still somewhat speculate that, but that just confirms it. I mean, and I don't think this is just like a cultist or typical like summoner, warlock, demonic character. I think there is a literal like actual demonic soul stone like lodged in this character's forehead, like in the class's forehead. I think that is a baseline aspect of this class, and it wouldn't shock me I know this is wild, but that would not shock me if that is Diablo's, like, if that is like, if the essence of Diablo is like in that soul stone, based off, if you look at Diablo, Diablo 2, and just Diablo lore in general, anything ever associated with the soul stone with Diablo, it's always like Aiden and Lazarus or whatever. Well, Aiden for sure. The soul stone is like lodged in their forehead area, and in Diablo 2 you can see it has like a faint glow. But that's high speculation, but I'm very confident that's what we're seeing. I just don't see any other logical I don't see any other logical reason, because there is obviously a very apparent glow on this character's forehead, and I just don't see any other, with how dark and ominous this silhouette looks. What else would it be? It's a soul stone. It's a demonic soul stone. So this is going to be like a character that can literally transform into a demon, most likely, not just summon up demons from hell like a necromancer can summon and raise dead. This is going to be, and I mean, really the speculation is really backed up with this whole looms on the dark horizon, noting the class's power is undeniable, and poised to reshape the battlefield. Okay, the last thing I'm going to hit on about the whole Oracle thing, which is a wild speculation, even without this, in my opinion. Just as Skobos and Paladin are not related, another new class is not necessarily related to Skobos either. This is from Blizzard. This is a Korean interview with Blizzard, and there's a couple other sources that you can find this interview, and this is quoted from Blizzard. Just as Skobos and Paladin are not related, another new class is not necessarily related to Skobos either. This has been out there for a while, but 12 days. But I mean, even without that, the whole Oracle speculation has been totally wild to me. There's zero chance it's an Oracle. It's not an. Look at the silhouette. It's the most ominous looking silhouette I've ever seen. I mean, even without all the context that we just went into, that thing looks like a straight like wraith, like just, I mean, if we didn't have the necromancer, it would just be so obvious a necromancer, right? But then we have that glow in the forehead, and that is undeniably a soul stone in my opinion. There's just, what else would it be, like, logically? And that said, I'm pretty hyped. I think now my wild speculation, and this is probably not going to be correct, but I would love to be right about it, is that could be Diablo's essence, just given where the soul stone is located on the character class. That would be cool if it was like Diablo's essence, because you had Tal Rasha that had Baal's soul stone, and it would be neat if there was like some kind of, like, if this is some kind of super powerful mage or Herodrum, class that somehow managed to get a hold of Diablo's essence and a soul stone and was able to actually control it, and wield that power. That would be so sick. You basically would have it's a Dark Wanderer class. That's what I'm speculating, that this is like a Dark Wanderer class. Like, if you were gonna make Diablo playable, but also like have a humanoid form, this would be it. So you're gonna have summoning demons. You're gonna have all kinds of, hellfire, whatever, warlock-esque abilities. Because if somebody said this is a warlock, that's basically what I think this is going to be, except it's going to be able to actually turn into a demon. The reason I'm speculating that it will be able to turn into a demon is due to the fact that there is a soul stone like lodged in the character's head that is the same location of Aiden and the other host for Diablo, which is always in the forehead skull area. Along with that, we all speculate it's going to be a willpower based class. Like, the main stat's going to be willpower. And if you look up willpower lore in Diablo, you look at the silhouette, you look at what's obviously, in my opinion, a soul stone. You read this whole looms on the dark horizon, which is very much pointing to Diablo and Diablo 2, Diablo cinematics of the Dark Wanderer. Class power undeniable, poised to reshape the battlefield. It's good speculation, and that's all it really is. Ultimately, is speculation. But I think this is very good speculation, in my opinion. So, all right, that's it.